What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I finally have my little brother Jake on here.
Over here.
Jakey, look at me. Jake, where are we? Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we? In the lagoon?
The lagoon.
What ride are you gonna ride on?
The park. The kitty.
The kitty ride? Awesome, high five.
There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight. Gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight.
And he has recently started a new adventure in his life, and it's pretty exciting.
I think it's been about 8 months. I feel like I'm finally ready to talk about it and go through everything, so.
Yeah, I bet it was hard when you first left, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's fairly recent. Do you think you're the most recent person that's left the order?
I think so. I mean,
chances are, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from anybody else leaving, so probably the most recent, yeah.
If there's anything that worries you or you're concerned about, what would that be?
Well, at first I was just really wondering if it was the right decision for me and what I should be doing, and but that all went away after coming and talking to my siblings and everything. And I feel like really the biggest worry for me right now is just I'm just trying to get on my own feet and just start my own life, and be independent. Yeah, I didn't even plan on leaving really at the time.
That's what's very different about yours, is I wanted to leave at least a year before I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried to, I literally snuck out and went and met up with Amanda. And she said that she would help me and we could figure out a way for me to leave at 17. But it was going to be really hard as a minor. But if I just waited till I was 18, and at the time, this moment, I probably was maybe 4 or 5 months away from turning 18. It was close enough that we both kind of just decided that waiting would be easier.
I was kind of toying with the idea, thinking about it, and then I wasn't really getting too serious about it until something happened, and then I was like, okay, I just got to go right now, so.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like there's kind of a, it feels weird calling it a comfort, but a groove that a lot of people get into that makes it not worth trying to leave some of the times?
A little bit, yeah, because I feel like the biggest thing is if I could have just been on my, I guess kind of if I could have just did my own stuff and not really been bothered so much by my our parents and everybody pressuring me to do all of the Sunday school, become a deacon and a priest and stuff like that. And because some people, they just hang out with their friends and they just get comfortable with the life they're living and their job and everything. But it got to a point where I would try to hang out with my friends and try to do anything, and mom and dad would just have their rule over whatever I was doing all the time,
They really micromanage all the stuff you do, huh?
Exactly. I had a lot of anxiety and was really paranoid about what I already kind of went over this on Amanda's video, but basically I feel for a long time in my life, ever since I was 11, mom and dad kind of made me feel I had sinned so bad and stuff, and so many times that I felt ever since then I was repaying some kind of sin debt or something.
Had to repent kind of type thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I would try and do all the good things and try and stay on good terms with my parents and everything, but then after so long, it just started to really get to me where I didn't really know why I was doing everything I was doing, and I would still get in trouble even though I would do my best,
Me and the siblings were always fighting against the parents, but I remember Amanda was the main one that took a lot of the heat, I would say, because she was known as the bad child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was interesting because she was older than me and she was seen as rebellious and all these things. It was much easier for me to look like the good child. But I just remember feeling I'm one of the good kids in comparison. And I did try hard, and I was always afraid of sinning, going to hell and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I do think depending on what age group you're in, you'll have totally different experiences for sure. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, so it definitely was in a time where mom and dad couldn't look at one specific kid and be like, oh, this is the bad kid, you know. I feel like we were all trying really hard, but the truth about it was like I would get blamed for most of the stuff, even though it wasn't me doing it, you know. And I would just, no matter what I would do, like I started going to the college Dad wanted me to, and working where he wanted me to, and like just trying to cover all my bases there so that I wouldn't have to get in trouble.
It doesn't seem like the polygamous lifestyle affected me too much until I started getting into my teenage years. As a kid, I remember just being like, always wanting to play, just go crazy. I loved having tons of siblings everywhere, always someone to play with. And then you just be careful if you make the wrong step somewhere, you're going to get smacked and you'll get beat up a little bit, but then you'll just recover and be back to playing. That's like most of what my young years memories are. And then once I started becoming like a self-thinker, I guess, I don't know what you call it, but once my brain started developing a little more, that's when I started clashing. As basically the moment I started asking questions, I feel like that's when issues started to arise, because before then, you know, you just go along with whatever, and they don't take much of an interest in you before you can start, you know, being productive and working and contributing to the group and things like that.
I always wanted to do like skateboarding or scootering or like some kind of sport, or else I wanted to do like YouTube videos or something, and it just seems like no matter what it was that I was interested in, my parents always had something against it.
Tried to shut it down.
And tried to shut it down, yeah, especially like...
But you know what's crazy though, is as strict and hard it probably was to talk to and do any of those things with them, they were more strict when I was there, because you being able to even have a YouTube channel when you were there, that's huge. Like,
yeah,
that's nothing I ever even considered getting started when I was there, because they were like against any type of social media. Like, I had a Facebook page, and even that, Mom wanted to see all the stuff I was posting, wanted to make sure like I wasn't being influenced by the outside world. So like, I never got the opportunity to start a YouTube channel while I was there, or have much like online stuff at all. Even music. Nowadays, I feel like Mom's way more lenient about like, I don't know, like if you were to download stuff on your iPod or something, then it wouldn't be as strict. But she used to always be like getting honest about what kind of music we had, calling all of our stuff devil worshipping music and stuff. Like,
for sure.
Just a lot more extreme, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely the younger you are, then the more like Mom will always be like looking and like saying like, what are you downloading on your iPod and stuff like that. As I got older, it started to be more and more lenient. Also, I feel like the only reason I would be able to start like a YouTube channel and stuff there was because some of Brother Paul's kids had started their own YouTube channels and like gaming videos and stuff like that.
Paul's kids have YouTube channels?
I know there's a couple who have something. It's not like something where they like show who they are. It's like edits of stuff, you know, but
so
they have
put
their
clips together and post it on YouTube.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And so,
I did hear there's an order member that actually got really good at singing, and he has a Spotify reputation or something. Like
with views definitely. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's also somebody who left earlier on, and he's really has a pretty good Spotify, like songs and everything too.
How old were you when you first got a cell phone?
I was 17 when I got my first cell phone.
17? That's pretty old.
I know, yeah. I was just like using an Apple Watch for like 2 years because I was working with...
Well, don't say names.
Yeah, well, because I was working
But the person you worked with, they got you a watch so they could stay in touch with you, huh?
Yeah, so they got me a watch, and then Mom and Dad...
So you had to text your boss through your little watch?
And I would use the maps on the watch. I would do everything on the watch because that's the only thing I could have. And then after a while, like, it started to be like really slow and stuff, and apparently like Mom and Dad were just like... And my boss was like just so fed up with it. He's like, as soon as you can, you gotta get a phone. So I kept telling Mom and Dad.
That's what's crazy though, because you were driving yourself places,
I had a car.
Yeah, you had a car, and you didn't even have a phone for communication.
For 2 years, crazy. I had a car, and for like 6 months of it, I had to just figure out where I was going, write down the address, the day before, take that home, then figure out the exact time I was supposed to be there, drive there and hope that everyone's there at the job site and everything.
Wow.
You know, it was impossible to communicate with me.
Wait, but so you had a job bringing in money. How come you couldn't? What stopped you from convincing mom and dad, like, hey, I have some money. Can I go buy a phone now?
You know, they wouldn't even let me buy my own phone.
So
If
you
I had
asked
one-
and they just said no?
Yeah, I asked them a couple times. They just said, nope, you can't have a phone, And I told them, like, my boss needs
You know
me
what
to
I
for this kind of
think
work.
caused that?
What?
This is just an idea, but there's a half brother of ours, just slightly older than you, that always got his electronics taken away all the time, and he had probably like 10 backup ones hidden, like secret. He would just get them, and he got caught so many times that I think he might have ruined it a little bit for you.
Oh, for sure. So I know who you're talking about. Wait, right.
I'll try to bleep that out, but
Well, yeah, we can take all this stuff out, but I know who you're talking about, and he definitely, I feel like with what he did, then they would never, ever find everything that he had. So eventually they just be like, I don't even care anymore. Like, we can never, like, you can just have a phone now, you know? And it went on for like a few years like that
so
until.
you feel like he eventually broke them then? He finally got
For
away with
him,
it?
yeah.
Huh.
But then with me, then they were like,
They probably
still-
thought you had secret stuff then, huh? But
yeah,
you didn't.
definitely. And I never
See,
did.
doesn't that
yeah.
suck? It's like because someone before you was bad, then our parents are gonna assume you're bad too.
Yes, exactly. I feel like all like your guys' group, like Cami, Amanda, Rachel, Eskel, and then
We destroyed the road for you guys.
no, but it just seems like mom and dad are always like in this idea that like it's parents versus kids, and it's like it doesn't make any sense. Why would your kids be your own enemy, you know? And I would try and do my best, and they would always come up with something like, you're just trying to be the worst possible, you know, and like a
Or
rebel.
like I remember them not believing me because they're like, "You're just trying to protect your sisters." Or
Exactly.
something, you know? Yeah.
They would never believe a
And I'd
word
be like,
I
at the
said.
time, I'd be like, "What? Why? They're just as mean to me." I fought with my siblings, but I fought with my parents way more because it was a different type of fighting. With my siblings, it was like, "Oh, you're annoying, get away from me." And then with the parents, it was like they just never would trust me. Like I could never win their like acceptance. So it was just this constant battle of not being good enough for them, you know?
Exactly.
That was rough.
I feel like the biggest thing is they have this predetermined thing that it's like, oh, our children just want to fight us, you know? And it's like, so many times I would just come to them with the truth, and then they would be like, is this a cover-up for something? Or like, something like
They're
that.
so skeptical because
Exactly.
they've gone through this so many. Think of it like first of all, our mom has already been going through this with 10 different ones, but our
Yeah.
dad's been going through it with 30 different kids.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, he probably has no hope for humanity anymore. He's just given up.
Well, yeah, if you see the way he teaches his kids, it's like, he tries to use psychological tactics for us to tell him everything, you know, and not like love and stuff, but
Yeah, he's given up
Also-
on love a long time ago.
definitely. And also, it's like whenever you do something good and like they can be proud of, they're like, yeah, that's what we taught our children to do. And whenever you do something wrong, they're like, why did you do that? And like they completely disconnect themselves from it. So pretty much the like space they put their children in is like the parents are always perfect and the kids are always wrong, you know?
Yeah, they
Which
try to
is-
paint the picture that the parents cannot do any wrong.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure. It's crazy how much.
And it's
they-
reinforced by the order mindset, you know, that the
That
parents
is interesting because Dad would always talk about how it's our fault if anything goes wrong, and it's never the parents' fault. But I remember catching him blaming our mom sometimes, though. So
Yeah.
he would get mad at her, but never tell us that, oh, it's mom's fault for anything. It was always our fault, and then when he talked to mom, it was always her fault, too.
Yeah, see?
So-
And it's either his wife or his kid's fault. And it's like,
But you know what's interesting though is I guarantee you that the people above him, the leadership, going to talking to our dad is blaming it all on him. It's your fault your wife wants to leave you. It's your fault your kids are screw ups. You know,
Yeah.
he probably gets all the blame for that. So then he takes all that bottled up anger and he takes it to us. It's your guys' fault. You know?
well, yeah,
So
well,
there's just this big old blame bucket that's just getting passed around. everywhere.
exactly. And the youngest of the young get it all.
Then the
the
little
worst.
baby gets stuck off.
Yeah, it is like
He's just like, I just got here, man. Why are you dumbing all this on me?
exactly
The last kid that'll actually still listen to dad. It's like, oh man,
goes through
poor
so
guy.
much. Yeah, and it is crazy to see though, because it's kind of like our dad is in a position where he's in between two things. He has to make sure his family's making all the exact right moves so that the ones above him will see that his family's doing good. So he's just in this like middleman position where it's like he doesn't really know what to do, and so he gets angry a lot and like just uses different ways and methods that he knows works and stuff. But yeah, it's very
that he
interesting.
thinks works.
Yeah, that he thinks helps the situation, but really it just shuts the kids up and makes them robots and stuff, you know.
It's interesting, yeah, because I think it's a lot like growing up. A lot of the times it felt impossible to please the parents or to always be on the good side, right?
Definitely.
And so I would imagine for him it's probably similar. Like he could be the perfect little robot and still wouldn't please, his older brothers and the people above him. So I'd imagine like he's tried everything he can do and he still gets shunned and still gets condemned and all that. So I mean, rather maybe that's his version of him like giving up and breaking down and just like not trying as hard maybe. Or he just, the frustration gets to him and he just takes it out on the family. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really, really tough position that he's in, along with all of his children and his wives, and because the people over him even are like putting all that pressure that because like if any of his daughters leave, then like he gets privileges taken away and everything, So
isn't that crazy? It's like his girls is a type of currency for him.
It's literally a currency in the order.
And he has way more boys than girls.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's weird. That really shouldn't matter. But in the order, it's just one of those subconscious things matter. And they'll never go up on the stadium and be like, everyone's got to try to have girls. Like girls is what is so important. We need more girls. But you just know, like the family with more girls and they get more privileges. They're gonna get better taken care of.
Yeah, even there's talks in the Order Church about the best ways to make sure you have a girl baby. Like literally,
yeah. But
it's insane.
I wonder if that's based off of science or just like if they're just guessing at stuff.
Well, I feel like some of it's like what they've read on the internet about the science of it and stuff. Okay. But the fact that they would go up in church and
so they give out ideas of like how to have more girls.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
one of the weirder ones I've heard. I don't know how well it's backed or whatever, but it's like they told everybody like if you go on like a plane during your pregnancy, it's more likely you'll have a girl child, and things like that.
Wait, really? If you fly in a plane?
That's one of the ideas that was going around. Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
No way.
It's interesting.
So, wait, does that mean a bunch of pregnant people in the order have probably taken flights?
I know who that one of our half-sisters did, for sure.
They did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they had
wanted to have
a bunch
a girl
of boys
so bad,
in a row, yeah. And then they were
wait, you're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, but
they tried
she just
it
had
and
a girl,
didn't
though,
work.
right?
Yeah, they
So
tried
did
it
work?
and then it didn't work a few times. Then finally, I guess it did work, but
so she took a flight with each of those pregnancies until she had a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can't know for sure because she tried the flying thing, still had a boy, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
That's
so it's
funny.
like,
You know how crazy that would be if it worked? She takes a flight, next kid's a girl.
For real. Insane.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Dang. Huh. That is
Super
wild.
Interesting.
That's a little bit sad too because all the guys kind of know they're not as valuable as the women, but like they really paint that picture nowadays. It's crazy because
weird,
they're getting more desperate too because they are completely out of women. Like before I left, they were talking about how a lot of young men are questioning about how they're gonna get wives when there's so few women in the group, and they were like, but you don't have to worry about it because you have options to marry as young as 10, 20, 30 years younger than you. So, like, there's lots of younger girls. You just have to have them younger, basically. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And they were already saying that back then. So now it's even worst case scenario.
It just gets to a point where, like, every, like, so often in Sunday school, you just always hear about the stories of, like, how somebody had to wait till they were 40 to get married and stuff. And so it's like, Guys, don't be afraid about how there's not enough girls and stuff. Just wait your turn and stuff.
But is there still that stigma of like you need to get married by 18? Do they still have that? Because I remember when I was there, I was only 17, and I was like, I have to get married like soon. Like if you got married right before you turned 18, you were like legendary. You were like one of the cool guys.
Yeah.
But if it took too long, it like would basically you start getting shunned a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's now, like I bet you back when you were there, then there was like pretty much everybody got married that young and stuff.
90%, yeah. Everyone got married by 18. If you were 20 and not married, like that was a rare occurrence, you know?
Now it's like nobody does until they're like 20, and there's so many people who are like super old still waiting.
You're
to
talking
get
about
married.
just for the men though, right?
Yeah, all the men.
I'm assuming there's not a single girl that makes it to 18 without being married, right?
Definitely, yeah. There's none of that. I haven't seen any of that for sure.
Girls are getting married younger and younger.
And
I used to even joke that eventually it's going to get to the point that the moment a girl is born, then they get designated to one of the guys. Like they'll literally start signing them out.
No, it's probably already at that point.
Really?
Because,
Yeah, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
because
scary.
I heard stories that like when they would tell like literally 5-year-old girls like this is the guy you're gonna marry once you turn
like
this
they've
age.
already assigned them, huh? Whoa, that is so creepy. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Sweet.
Bye guys. I guess I'm at Esco's now, and I'm gonna film a video with them.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah, like we're one for his YouTube.
Yeah, right now we're just going to film an update video.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. We'll have fun.
Okay,
We
thanks,
will.
Amanda. See ya.
Yeah, love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
I am.